Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's debate. I'm Wolf Blitzer. Now let's begin. For tonight's debate, we have the man with the very impressive resume, Mr. John Locke.
Hello, hello.
Debating with Mr. Locke is the TV and radio personality, Mr. Glenn Beck.
Thank you, Mr. Blitzer.
Okay, let's begin. The issue tonight is abortion. I will pose the question and then each debater will have 3 minutes to respond to the question. We'll start with Mr. Glenn Beck. The question is, what is your stance on abortion? Let's go to Mr. Glenn Beck now.
Thank you, Wolf. Every life is sacred. There's no question about that. Anybody will tell you that those who want to destroy life are, by definition, bad people. The Nazis, the communists, the fascist liberals, they all want to destroy life. Life that we have a right to. I hold here in my hand a textbook from a local high school. A textbook that contains the great Constitution of our great America. It says right here, life, liberty, and the pursuit of going back. Now, let me ask you this. Let me pose a question to you. If this textbook right here was good enough for our founding fathers, why then is it not good enough for us today?
And that's time up. We now turn to you, Mr. John Locke.
Well, Wolf, that really is a tricky subject. You see, I believe that a man's body is the property of said man, and that the government really has no power to infringe upon that person's right to his body or his property. Now, on the other hand, a person really has no right to destroy another's life, unless, of course, that person is in danger. Now, obviously, that's not the case with abortions. Now, I know, as a philosopher, you expect me to give completely black and white answers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go against the grain on this one, and I'm going to have to say it's really a toss-up. Now, under no circumstances do I want to contradict myself, because we, as philosophers, we just don't do that. And so I'm just gonna have to leave you with this. In my prime, several years ago, I was a doctor, and as a doctor, I performed what you might call an abortion procedure several times. Now, during these abortion procedures, the abortion occurred very early on in the pregnancy. So really what the problem is, there needs to be a line drawn between when what is there is a person and it has the right to its body as property, and when there's nothing really there at all. Now, obviously there's no way to agree upon where this line should be, and that's really what's at the crux of the issue. That's the crux.
Well, that's just great. I appreciate your completely straight answer. Would you like to say something, Mr. Glenn Beck?
Thank you, Wolf. I'd just like to point out that I always give straight answers. I mean, quite frankly, things that aren't straight just make me want to puke.
Moving on to the next question. Mr. Beck, what is your stance on our current president's abortion policy?
Speaking of things that make me want to puke. But seriously, Obama is a man. Let me put it another way. Obama, our current president, the man who is leading our country, kills flies. I just love this country so much. And that is why we need to look at the cold hard facts. Obama kills God's creatures. Hitler also killed God's creatures. Now, I know what you're going to say. Glenn Beck, you handsome devil. People and flies are not the same thing. But aren't they? I actually have a little diagram right here. A little diagram. Let me walk you through this logic. The logic is right here. China is communist. China sometimes has to dissect cats for science. Science
is what put a man on the moon. Science also can't fight global warming because there are too many volcanoes emitting too much CO2, just like the cars that we drive. When we drive our cars, they sometimes get flies on the windshield and they die, just like our old Pope. Now, Obama kills flies on TV for ratings. NBC has really bad ratings. Bad people do bad things, just like kill. And that is why flies and people have the same life. It's all connections. You just see it with your eyes.
And now to you, Mr. Locke. Would you like to answer the question?
I would like to first point out that our president, as a leader, is really doing a great job. Because he is not only a democratic leader, but he is a man who takes his experience into consideration. I believe that a man cannot just formulate a random thought. He has to have had experience in a certain area before he can come up with an idea on that topic. And that is really why it's great that we have a president like Obama who has had so much experience. And that's not all. President Obama's policy on abortion does not only reflect his own personal beliefs, but it truly does reflect the benefit for the masses. And there's no way to please everyone. And so we're going to have to go with what suits the masses. And really, we need to look at who is being hurt by abortions.
Is it really the best thing for everybody? I was aborted once.
What sits at the core of the issue is the fact that abortion is a controversial topic, and it's really not possible to solve it in a single sitting. Nobody can agree upon a solution, and that is why I, as a philosopher, need to give people the choice to do what they want to do. We cannot get caught up in the potential for life, because it's too complicated. In a murder case, for instance, we do not prosecute a murderer who killed a husband for 5 or 6 murders because that husband may have had kids one day. That's simply too complicated. I, as a philosopher, like things to be clear and precise, and that is why I must support President Obama's opinions on abortion. However, if someone were to not agree with President Obama, that is perfectly acceptable. All they would really have to do is band together and revolt and topple the government.
Wise words indeed. Okay, gentlemen, we have just run out of time. Do you have any closing statements?
Closing statements. Closing statements. I have a closing statement for you. For you, my fellow citizens of this beautiful America, great beautiful. I thank you. That the naysayers will tell you I don't, but truly, from my heart, I thank you.
A beautiful sentiment from Mr. Glenn Beck. Mr. Locke, do you have any closing statements?
Could you, Mr. Blitzer, do me a favor?
Anything.
Could you please say, "She sells seashells by the seashore"?
No problem. She's healthy.
Thank you very much.
And that wraps up our show. Join us next week when we find out what former Governor Patterson's favorite color is. Thank you.